So, what can we expect to see on Infernal Shrines? I actually don't follow the Korean meta that closely outside of some of the cast or the games in North America that Team Alexander has played on. If you guys have seen them, so this will be as new to me as it is to you guys. Things we can look to maybe see, or maybe like a Jaina, Kael'thas, and Orphea mage who really likes to soak. Those skeletal defenders. We're gonna see Stukov banned away. He's one of the top tier supports in Korea right now. I do know that much at least. So Cassia, of course, just as OP over here as she is in North America. And then Ana. So it looks like so far pretty standard stuff. Wondering if we'll make see that ETC banned away just based on the fact that, you know, we did the math and we worked it out as that Deckard also goes away. And if you hit all 5 members of a team with both stacks of your encore at level 13 on ETC, you can actually reduce your mosh pit cooldown by 96 seconds. You can have a mosh pit nearly every 20 seconds, which is absolutely insane. Obviously, that's not the case, but like an optimal, best case scenario, that's what you could have, which is super crazy. Chromie is going to be picked up first here by our friend. My chat doesn't want to move. Just click that. All right, Angel Wing going to pick up that Chromie. Diablo and Raynor also being picked up for the side of Lazy King here. So far, yeah, pretty standard stuff. Garrosh going to be picked up here by Capybara, who is the 5th Grandmaster number 5 here in Korea. Leoric going to be cleaned up as well. Lucky Myung picking up that Leoric. Very strong on the game. He's got a ton of really great tools to shut down Diablo, you know, that Entomb. It can be deadly because you've just provided 3 walls for Diablo to bank into, but also if you trap him with nowhere to go, he can maybe throw out 1 Firestorm, and then that's that. We're going to see the Greymane taken away as, yeah, it looks like, you know, some of my NA skills will carry over. Of course, that probably means that I'm like a bronze tier caster since I am North American here in Korea. Now the question is what are we going to call our friends who have Korean names? Because like I said, I don't speak Korean as Sonya gets taken out here. Sonya very strong into Lyric, of course, because she can just spin away and out heal through that Lyric spooky ghost grab with that spectral leech. Sid Kitten, thank you so much for the rating party of 12. Welcome, members of Sid Kitten stream. I hope you guys had a lovely time. We're over here doing some fight night. It's some Korean fight night on the Korean server with the Korean Grandmasters. Yrel being picked up into that Leo, which can be very frustrating for both of them. So it's more of a skill matchup I'm excited to see. And then Pipe Bomb picking up that Malfury. And we don't see too much Malfury anymore. But with most of the best supports being banned away, they're having to slide into some lesser seen picks. I wonder if we'll see an Anduin here, maybe a Rhaegar. Rhaegar was super OP for a couple of weeks, and then they nerfed him. He's still very strong, but he's fallen out a little bit. And there it is, an Anduin Tychus. I'm really digging these teams so far. I think they're going to be a lot of fun, a lot of really good spicy picks here. Leoric and Yrel are definitely going to be careful into that Tychus. The immobility of Lazy King does have me worried for that Garrosh. He's one of the strongest tanks right now. He can just, you know, throw you into oblivion, and then you are stuck. A Junkrat coming out in the end for Jackpot, who actually, they're swapping it out, so nope. Just swapping to Troll. Jackpot is going to be that Junkrat. Junkrat was buffed in this most recent patch, so very excited to see what they're going to do here. Because again, guys, I can't stress this enough. We are in Korea. This is the #1 place to be for Heroes of the Storm action. I'm going to go ahead and bring it back to me as we wait for the loading screen to get started. And I always like to do a thing where I talk about the teams and I say who I think is better, which team I think will have a better time And looking at these guys right now, I think I'm going to have to give it to Lazy King. I really like the Urel. I like the Junkrat. I think they have a couple of mobility tools, and those two that they can jump on the back line if needed and really just harass Chromie and Tychus. But of course, that's just my opinion. Would love to hear what you guys think as we head into this best of 5 series. I really wish I knew how to pronounce some of these names. We're going to probably just call them by their hero names because I don't know Korean and I really don't want to offend somebody. Diablo is Juhoon. Jujihoon? Am I saying that right? All right, we're hopping into the game, so I am going to hop over here as we jump in on the left-hand side in the blue team. We have... Gosh, gentlemen, a team gentlemen over here on the blue hand side with Capybara on that Garrosh. Tychus is played by someone. I apologize, I don't speak Korean. Lucky Mong will be your Leoric. There's also that is Anduin, again, in Korean. Angel Wing will be your Chromie. And over here on the right-hand side, we've got Jackpot on that Junkrat. Vostro will be your Urel. Pipe Bomb is your Malfurion. Diablo is Juji Hoon, I was told, so hopefully that is correct. And then Rainer, of course, another name in Korean I cannot say. So again, apologize, folks. I'm going to make these logos a little bit smaller as we jump into the game. Everybody is just going to go ahead, jump right into the middle, start trying to find picks and everything for each other. A little bit of a shove there onto Tychus, but nothing he can't handle. Now, teams looking to jump down as the minute mark starts to roll around here in just a couple of seconds. They'll look to grab this bottom soak and then get those camps. Look at some of these talents. We're seeing Chromie with that newly revamped deep breathing already getting 4 big old stacks on there. Diablo with 9 souls, and then Garrosh opting for that unrivaled strength as opposed to the War Groundbreaker that we typically see over in North America. Wanting to throw some of those immobile members from the side of Lazy King further. Tychus gonna get started on this camp all by himself. Here comes Anduin to help out. Meanwhile, Rainer and Malfurion cleaning out a little bit quicker there. Chromie coming to drop some Dragon Breaths to make it go a little bit quicker for the members of Team Gentlemen. And now this bottom camp is the place to be. Teams are looking to contest that here. Capybara comes in, gets rooted, but throws Diablo into the fort. However, he might be in a little bit of rough position. Out comes the roots, but of course, Garrosh full of that armor gets away safely. Bottom camp does go over to Team Lazy King. Garrosh having to hearth back, waiting just to get ready for that objective, leaving Tychus to clear down on the bottom, which the tower's going to take a little bit of damage, you know. Tychus isn't the strongest wave clear. He's going to grab one of those impalers and then head back to the middle where the impalers are already pushing in. The better wave clear of Team Lazy King, able to clear out the camp of Gentlemen fairly early. Up in the top lane, we have the coolest and attractivest players. Your off lane, they sacrifice screen time so the team can stay equal in levels. And they're just looking to zone right now, try and find the enemy team, grab the stacks that they can, and then rotate around. Diablo coming in to invade these bruisers. He's all by himself. Better be careful, but here comes Jackpot. Vostro also on the way, but Lucky Mong able to harass enough so the team can go ahead and grab these. Bruiser camp was picked up by Lazy King as well. And now the shrine is about to be started. We can see Lazy King already in position, trying to fed out any members of Team Gentlemen, looking to try and find those early picks, make an easier shine clear for them. Leoric soaking the bottom, Urel soaking the middle lane. They will rotate as needed, but for now, 6-6, level 7 on the rise for both teams. They're just going to try and stack as many of these skeletal defenders as they can. Diablo getting thrown, gets a stun there. Junkrat knocking away Garrosh. Chromie coming out with some sick damage onto Pipe Bomb, making it really hard for them to go in and heal, but Capybara is now under fire. They've got 28 armor, meaning they've taken a big chunk of health, about half. Do have to tap. Those Chattering Teeth coming in for Jackpot there. Gonna chase out some of the members. Anduin finally taking the bite. And now Diablo under fire once again. Leoric trying to come in to see what damage they can get in, but to get stunned out by the root, or rooted out by the root, those entangling vines. Chattering Teeth once again being such a thorn in the side of Team Gentlemen, who aren't having such a great time clearing out here. It's 12-32. Diablo is being harassed once again by Garrosh, who has to drop that Indomitable. Tyka's very, very low. Viceroy on top of him. Out comes the Leap of Faith. It's 167 health. Tyka gets away, and this first Punisher is going to go over to Team Lazy King. Ooh, jump not perfectly timed. That is going to be the Punisher out on the outside. That means they won't have the fort to defend it. And even tougher for Team Gentlemen, as they are going to have that Frozen Punisher, which right now is considered the strongest Punisher in the game, as it does shut off the towers. And the towers, of course, after the recent changes, not as devastating to fight into, but still pretty gosh darn hard. As you can see right there, Diablo taking -10 armor, accidentally hitting somebody with that flame stomp there. Tychus better be careful as he's down 40 health and gets jumped on by the Punisher. Fort does go down. That is going to be first fort of the game going over to Lazy King. But finally some respite as the Punisher does go down. In the bottom lane, our cool and attractive players in the off lane just harassing each other, trying to soak out. Vostro a little bit lower and on the wrong side of the map. Here comes Diablo, though that Wraithwalk is going to make sure Lucky Mong does not go down here. Chattering Teeth picking up Tychus. It is camp time again. It's level 10. It's quite close for the members of Lucky King. We have our level 7 talents here. Rainer opting for that unstable compound. Getting some extra mana there and reducing the penetrating round cooldown by 1 second. Yrel opting for that righteous momentum, which gives her the move speed, allowing her to look kind of silly as she's running around the map. But here come the members of Lazy King. Yrel in tow as well. And it looks like being so close to level 10, the Gentlemen are just going to go ahead and give this one over. They can clear it out pretty quickly with Tychus and Chromie. They know it's not the end of the world. And now middle lane is under some serious pressure as both towers go down simultaneous. 6 Impalers looking at the well, looking at the fort, and they're just burning through it like butter, just cutting through the health. Garrosh trying to stack up. Level 10 is online now for Lazy King. These teams are really, really struggling. They're struggling over on the side of Lazy King. The well does finally fall. Chromie, though, able to use those big, thick Dragon's Breath to chunk down the Impalers, finally getting rid of them. Only the wall and the well. Definitely could have been worse. Lyric up, soaking the top. Members of Lazy King just trying to roam around, look for any pick they can find, see if they can't maybe look to invade this Bruiser camp eventually. Meanwhile, Rainer and Malfurion gonna grab their own level 10 finally online for the members of the Gentlemen. And out comes that Entomb. Jackpot could be in some serious trouble. Down comes Hyperion. He's so very low. But Lucky Mong is now also in trouble. They've already used that Wraithwalk. Capybara sitting at 32 armor, very low. Lightning Breath coming out for Diablo. Capybara taunting Yrel underneath tower. It's not enough, though. Teams are able to escape. As what started as a really solid engage from the Gentlemen ends up being most of them going back to base and licking their wounds, getting a little bit of extra damage done on this wall. As you can see, the entire wall is completely devastated by the members of Lazy King. Now it's time for bruisers for the Gentlemen. They know that the team has to reset. They burned a big chunk of ultimates there. Wow, Tranquility came out. Hyperion came out. Diablo's Fire Breath came out. They won't have those for the next minute. 30 seconds in the case of Malfurion, but that means at least 2 ultimates are going to be down for Lazy King. Meanwhile, the Gentlemen will still have all of theirs readily available. Objective has been started. This is going to be an Arcane Punisher. Nothing to sneeze at. Still does quite a bit of damage to heroes and forts alike. But now, still behind a little bit. The Gentlemen did definitely opting more for a fight style than a fight on the altar phrase. So we can see out comes the temporal loop. Tyke is so very low. Malfurion doing his best to keep everybody alive. Diablo is going to go down there. He does have the souls. Tychus does finally fall. That is 1 for 1. Diablo will be back a lot sooner than Tychus, though. Lucky Mong and Capybara very low in health, and with 27 to 1, it looks like the gentlemen are just going to have to seize this again. Just go back, get something else. It looks like we can see the 2 tanks headed down to the bottom lane. And then, of course, to this camp to get something pushing while the Punisher is being claimed. Chromie trying to ping a little way, does manage to get 6. 6 is not enough to get that Punisher. This fort should just be the end of the fort. We can see Chromie doing a little bit of damage there. Gets a tiny amount onto the Arcane Punisher. It's at 90% health now, but it's a 9-minute Punisher. 12 to 13. 4 members pushing. 3 members pushing, excuse me. And, yeah, just as quickly as it goes up, it falls. This keep now the main focus of Team Lazy King. Punisher gonna get on. Anduin's actually gonna be the one to tank the jump. Anduin and Capybara. Out comes the Temporal Loop onto Malfurion. He does go down. Rainer's so very low. Punisher falling, gets a little bit of damage, but still pretty healthy on the keep. Tower's not looking the hottest, but it's going to be another difficult chance for Lazy King to get in there and finish those off. Camps are picked up by Lazy King, who are just trying to go around, grab everything they can, and they don't want to let up. They just want to keep pushing in the gentlemen as well as they can. They know they don't have a ton of wave clear, so setting these camps one after another at them all the time is just going to keep them reactive. That's exactly what Lazy King want right now. Up here in the top lane, a big chunk of experience being not soaked by either team right now. You're all finally hopping up. Looks like we might have a little bit of a brawl down here in the bottom. I'll hop over, see if we can't see anything. But it looks like right now the teams are just trying to posture on each other. They are the same talent here despite being down a level on the side of the gentleman. Chromie being caught out, gets stunned out by Diablo, and that is one dead baby dragon. But here comes Capybara. He looks for Diablo, unable to connect. It's just going to take what they can get. They're not stacking, so they don't even get the satisfaction of a quest stack here. Yeah, speaking of quests, we're looking at these right now. Diablo back to 47 souls. You know, those kills will do it. So he's looking for vision right now, trying to see anybody who takes an unwise rotation. And it looks like Capybara might fall into that. Diablo dropping the flame stomp, but then heading back to the team, as it looks like they are going to start heading for their bruiser. And now the gentleman just trying to soak together safely. They aren't 16 now. This is the ideal time for Lazy King to fight. Urel has that percentage damage, so Garrosh and Leoric are definitely going to be hurting because they survive on armor and then sustained healing, so having that extra percentage is just really going to rocket them. Chromie with their level 16 already, or rather level 14, gonna go for that quantum overdrive. Urel looking to see if anybody is doing the bruiser camp. Right now, it's all about vision. What is your enemy doing? Where are they at? What can we take advantage of? And Lazy King seeing that it's just Leoric up here. They see Chromie in the bottom lane. They know the best case scenario is a 5v4 for the gentleman. They're just going to go ahead and take it. And the gentleman, also knowing this is a 5v4, the best they can do is kite around that Chattering Teeth and then clear this out as quickly as they can. Up in the top lane, the teams keep thinking about fighting, but then are like, you know what? It's not time right now. So we're just going to push you around, drag you around the map, and then go ahead and grab that objective. Because once again, Lazy King does have a little bit of a wave clear advantage, and they're really using that to just harass the members of the gentleman. Which team are we voting for? It's Korean Grandmasters, so we can go over some ranks later if you guys like, and you can make a decision based on the play right here. I don't know any of these players so far, but they're doing a really fantastic job. Already, we're seeing that wave clear edge from the Junkrat come into play, 24-6. Chromie's cooldowns are quite long, so it can be very difficult to grab these skeletal defenders. A little bit of a fight breaking out here as Diablo is now under some serious fire. They were jumped on by the Junkrat Junkrat bomb there. Leoric is going to be the first to go down, but you always let your Leo die. The members of the gentleman are running as fast as they can, trying to get out, but here comes Urel as fast as she can with that extra move speed from her level 7 talent. Capybara fleeing for their life. May end up giving it up as out comes the Roots. Protect finally coming out by Anduin, and Diablo taking a huge chunk of their health from the tower. Despite not being hurt, the tower is still targeting them. And despite all the efforts of Lazy King, the gentleman only lose Leoric, which, you know, of all the players to lose, isn't the worst. Diablo is going to go down. They do have their soul, so they will be back here in just a moment. Out comes that temporal loop, and Urel does have to drop that Iron Ardent Defender. She is going to absorb. Doesn't get a whole lot of health there, but she gets away with her life, which is exactly what she was looking for. Anyone trying to root the Punisher, but Punishers can't be rooted, Sully. They're trying to clear it in the lane, protect their keep as much as they can. And with the heavy casualties from the members of Lazy King, they can't really push with that as well. Malfurion going down was really difficult for them because not having a healer is very, very tough in these fights. So Angel Wing just trying to ping away best they can. These guys are good at not dying. We're 3-4 right now, 14 minutes into the game. Down here in the bottom, Lazy King just grabbing this camp. Like I said, another camp was taken here in the mid lane. Teams want to push as level 20 is online for Lazy King. This is the ideal time for them to fight right now. Malfurion holding their ult. Are they going to go for that Tranquility upgrade? Or are they going to pick something else instead? Maybe that percentage healing. We do have the Execute from Raynor, Seraphim from that Urel, giving her the Unstoppable, and then Hellgate on the Diablo. You have to be really careful with that. It gives him an extra stun because he needs more of those, right? Still a level and a quarter away from 20 for the gentlemen. So right now they're just trying to soak, trying to stay away from Lazy King. Junkrat looking to maybe get somebody booped. Just pushing these lanes in. Chromie may have overstayed their welcome in the bottom lane as she's now fleeing as fast as those little gnome legs can carry her. Out comes the temporal loop, but it may be all for naught. They drop the hourglass, but she does go down. All the while, there is going to be a camp pushing on this middle fort. And I feel like that's what we've been talking about right now. The teams have one thing on their mind, and it's camps. So we're just like, now, look at this push. It's a very frustrating way to play. So I can only imagine how the gentlemen are feeling right now. Hyperion coming in. This first keep will be going over to Lazy King, who are just showing a dominant game number 1 here. Capybara is the number 5 Grandmaster here in Korea, but there are 2 very strong Grandmasters on the side of Lazy King as well. So it might have been a little too much to expect to put all on one player's back here. Everybody here is a Grandmaster. They don't all have their ranks showing right now, so giving you guys all the information I can. As with these chattering teeth coming out, it looks like there is going to be another keep falling here in the top lane. Lyric going for a ride. We don't have that boop build Junkrat, so no resets there. But really tough work here for the gentlemen if they want to get back into this game. They've almost got a naked core. 1 keep remains. We can see the members of the Lazy King getting ready to just try and grab those bruisers, then grab this shrine. It is going to be should be a Frozen Punisher because we started with Frozen and this is Punisher number 4. If the Lazy King gets this, this is going to be game most likely. It's a 17-minute Punisher with no keeps pushing down the little main. Teams just trying to posture right now, set up all the vision that they can. We do have level 20 finally for the members of the gentlemen. We've got that Buried Alive, which could turn the fight as it does silence folks who are on top of it. We got that Titanic Might from Garrosh, and now this fight is breaking out. Out comes the Seraphim from Urel. It's going to be down for 10 seconds. She's running in, looking for the knockback. Lyric having to use that Spectral Walk very, very early. Urel chunking with that percent damage. Out comes the Hellgate. Diablo trying to get onto Taika as he gets exploded, gets silenced in the middle of the Entomb, but out comes the Riptire. Diablo is going to be the first to fall down. Capybara not long for this word. Taunt comes out onto Urel, has to use the Ardent Defender. That safety bubble with the Divine, or the power word coming out from Anduin. using that holy word salvation. He saves his team. Only Diablo follows there. They did not have souls, so it is going to be Diablo down for another 40 seconds. However, all the meantime, the camps were pushing in 69 nice % on the core. They are using that Spectral Wraith to try and get out of the Punisher stun very, very easily. Vasto is on the core, and the Punisher just chunking away. There is no shield, 60%. Lucky Mong does go down. Junkrat is the next to fall, but that Punisher is the one to kill. Tychus very, very low. Out comes Urel, 19% on the core, and that is going to be game number 1 going over to the Lazy King. Well done, teams. I'm going to bring it over to our ending screen so we can take a look at some of these talents, at these stats here. 6-6, a very close game in terms of death. Unfortunately for Team Gentleman, it looks like they just didn't have the wave clear to deal with Team Lazy King, and as such, they were just consistently pushed in. All 5 members had to go to clear a lane, and that pretty much allowed Lazy King to just do whatever they want. Let's take a look at these stats. Angel Wing doing their best. They've got 63,000 DPS compared to Jackpot's 48, but Jackpot was able to make their damage stick a little bit better. That constant healing from Malfurion was really, really strong and just allowed, even though there was a lot of chromie damage coming out, they were able to heal it up fairly consistently. And then, of course, Malfurion's out of game healing. Not the best, but when you're just stuck in your base pushing away the camps, it can make it really hard to get value off of some of those bursty damages. Looks like we are going to go ahead and hop into a game. So I'm going to bring you guys over to the map so we can take a look at it. As Volskaya Foundry is going to be our pick. And we're set to coin toss right now, so I'm not sure who picked it yet, but I'm going to go ahead and update that. I hope you folks are having a lovely time. Alrighty, Volskaya Foundry. So, how does this differ from Infernal Shrines? We do get to see a little bit more of a sustained fight comp, so maybe we might see a little bit more deaths in this one, at least in North America. Mephisto rises up a little bit in priority. He's really strong on the point. Urel is absolutely insane. Garrosh, still very strong. Just anybody who can sustain and who can just be on the point forever is who you're going to look at. May, very solid right now. Could be a really strong pick. We are going to see that Kirby banned away because even though they didn't get the kills they wanted, it really hurt. So Lazy King is like, I'm good. We don't want any more of that. Hi, Joey Wood. It's good to see you. You haven't finished your bottle of wine yet? Stukov going to be banned away once again. Very strong support in Korea right now, as stated earlier. And then, of course, there's that Honor. They're getting rid of all the supports. It's kind of like the tank lock meta in North America. The Koreans really seem to prioritize their supports here. Deckard getting banned out once again. So wonderful to see the Anduin Malfurion again. If they're going to try something different, maybe a Rhaegar, a white main if you're feeling super spicy. Cassia was let through, and as such, Jackpot is just going to insta-grab that. Alrighty, what are the gentlemen going to respond with here? Do they pick the Garrosh up again? There are a lot of really strong tanks open right now. They're going to opt for the Hanzo. Hanzo, great for harassing those points. The middle point can be a little bit difficult, but Mal'Ganis is going to be the tank of choice for Lucky Mong, or maybe even the offlane. They did play offlane last time, so we'll see if they're going to swap or if it is going to be more of a slow tank style that Mal'Ganis provides, keeping himself nice and strong on the point. That is one of the benefits of having the Mal'Ganis. He kind of takes care of himself. And there's that ETC we were talking about, ETC Tyrande. This is a really, really solid lineup coming out from Lazy King right now. You can slide into Power Slide, into Valkyrie, and then whoever is CC'd, you know, for like 7 seconds at that point should most likely be dead. If you're not dead after 7 seconds of CC, then like maybe it's time to go lay down and take a nap. Sonya, once again, gonna be banned away. Not sure if it's a respect ban or it's just based off of who the offlaners that the gentlemen are picking up. So we'll see if Mal'Ganis is going to be our offlane, if we're going to see any tanks banned out here, as the gentlemen still need to pick up a tank. They also need a support. So we could see that Anduin banned away, the Malfurion, just really try and lock in, make them focus on more of a Rhaegar or a white main. And then after that, you're really getting to the bottom of the barrel. But it is going to be that stab daddy taken away. They don't want to deal with a 1 second stun. What are the gentlemen gonna pick? When they have drafts like this, it makes me like really anxious because I'm trying to speculate what they're gonna do, and there are so many possibilities. My hope is that they'll pick up a support here. We'll have to see, and especially when we get to like these lower supports, like what's good? What are they gonna go for? Are they worried about burst? And they're gonna choose that Anduin again. He's really good at helping you not die. And this time the Yrel is going to go over to the side of the gentleman. So this is most likely going to be a main tank Mal'Ganis. Right now we have Dragon Arrow and Light Bomb to interrupt an ETC mosh pit, but Stage Dive could also be really strong because the anti-dive right now is not incredible from the gentleman. Raynor going to be picked up once again, and Chen. This is a very aggressive team coming out from the Lazy King, and I am loving it. Chen can jump back and harass, and aside Yrel knockback, Yrel is really going to have to stay far back. She loves to get on the back line and harass, but if the back line is in her back line, then there might not be a whole lot of value out of that leap, except to maybe give the allied leap where you get 25% armor. Tassadar going to be picked up, and this is a really solid pick. I like the Tassadar. I think if they were to go Black Hole, it isn't the priority pick. There are a lot of folks who think the Archon is significantly better, but if you're against Super Dive, especially in a choke point on Volskaya Foundry, drop the Black Hole. Push them away. If there's a mosh pit, you can interrupt it. Bring it back over to me as we wait for the players to load in. And looking at these team comps, gosh, I wasn't really sure of the gentleman's team comp, but I really like it with the Tassadar now, and I think that the Tassadar is going to be what puts them over the edge. So for this round, I think I'm going to give it to the gentleman, but of course, that is my opinion. I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the chat looking at these drafts. We're just waiting for everybody to load in, and then we'll hop into game number 2 in our best of 5 series. And they have super Korean internet, unlike our North American internet. So we are already in, jumping in over here on the right-hand side, left-hand side. I know my left from my right. Left-hand side, we have the gentleman with Lunky Mong now tanking this time on that Mal'Ganis. Angel Wing is your Tassadar. Again, I don't speak Korean, but our lovely player is going to play the Anduin. Capybara is going to be on the Hanzo this time, and then Yrel in the off lane. I don't speak Korean. I'm so sorry, guys. Jackpot is going to be that Cassia. Vaso is going to be your Chen this time. Pipe Bomb on the Tyrande. And then, of course, we have the Raynor and the ETC as well, played by our friends with the characters. Everybody hopping middle. We're just waiting to see what the teams are going to do now, what they're going to fight. We'll take a look at some of these talents. Tassadar opting for the standard static charge, getting that extra resonance beam charge with 250 bonus damage. Chen coming out, finding Capybara, and now Yrel running for her life. She's got negative 15 armor, drops the hammer, looking for a swing, does not connect, and now the fight is over as minions have been cleared. Yrel and Chen heading to bottom, and I always like to focus on these players just for a moment because they don't get a whole lot of screen time. Our cool and attractive bottom lane players here who are just trying to harass each other as best they can. And already Vaso's giving Yrel a whap, and she's got to bounce away. She's trying her best to do the damage, but Vaso with those shields is just dominating the bottom lane. Up here on the top, a little bit of a skirmish is breaking out. Tassadar, insane wave clear at almost 180 over here from the members of the gentleman. They had absolutely no wave clear in the first map where they really needed it. And now that it's not necessarily as important, they've got tons in the Tassadar. camp time is upon us. We are going to see the teams head over. Hanzo and Anduin grabbing this camp down here in the bottom lane. Over here, Raynor and Tyrande able to clear out that turret fairly quickly, and now the fight is over this support camp. Everybody really just trying to zone away, harass the Cassia, make sure that nobody has the advantage of having that support, because that extra healing can be life or death in a fight. Mal'Ganis coming in, getting 2 sleeps, and in comes Hanzo with the aggressive jump there. Cassia is going to be the first to fall, and the members of the Gentlemen are going to race away, satisfied with their kill. The members of Lazy King were grabbing their siege camp, trying to push out a little bit. Mal'Ganis is going to stay top to clear this. He doesn't have the best wave clear, but as a tank, he's pretty strong. Using those Fell Claws to get away from that stun, very, very nice. And here comes Anduin to also not help clean. They're going to look at their own siege camp instead and just let it push up a little bit more, as pushing on that support camp would mean, or pushing on that siege camp would mean the support could go over to Lazy King, and they don't want to have that. Everybody is just standing, and really, I have chills here, sitting and in anticipation, waiting to see what they're going to do, because the respect coming out of these teams right now, they all play together all the time, and they know that just what the other players are capable of, so they're just trying to posture, find that one slip up, and then just going for it. It looks like the support camp is going to go over to Lazy King. And there's a way to pick it up. Point has spawned, been taken by the Gentlemen right now. They do have a disadvantage as far as items go here. Right now, they're just, once again, posturing on each other, waiting to get level 7. Level 7 will be achieved by the Gentlemen second, so they may have to push off of this camp, as we all know 6.99 to 7 isn't the same. But there they go. They have it. 7s are snapped up quickly. We have Hanzo going for that scatter arrow build. Mal'Ganis opting for that black claws. ETC taking a ton of damage, has to get healed up by that light of the loon. Li-Ming is stunned out, trying to jump onto Tyrande. Out comes the wall from Tassadar. And so far, the Gentlemen managed to hold this point. Fight maybe breaking out. The team's so careful not to fight. They don't want to skirmish as it. Only want to skirmish as needed. 80% here for the Gentlemen. Turrets have spawned, and it looks like there was maybe a call to start doing it from the Lazy King, but then deciding, never mind, they don't want to do that. So Tassadar does get stunned. Leap of Faith does come out, but they pull them right to Vasa, who is just dominating Angel Wing. And the side Pipe Bomb has to drop that healing pulse as they are pushed super low. Vasa is now in the back, running as fast as they can. Urel looking to jump on the back line. Both turrets have been dropped. All the items are used now. It's just up to the players to try and finish it out. 99% for the Gentlemen. They do see the point for a moment. Everybody's going back to tap, grab some soak, then look to come back in. We can see Li-Ming stepping onto the point. And now they're just going to give it over to the Lazy King for right now. Try and get advantage elsewhere on the map, then come back in. But now they're pushing ETC off. As soon as I change to one way, they go the other. ETC being poked out by that scatter arrow. He slides in. Level 10's not online yet. That could have been a killer mosh pit if that was the case. Out comes that surge of light from Cassia, the most OP talent in her kit. Here comes Chen now jumping onto the back line, getting Capybara and Anduin very, very low. Urel sitting at about half health, half mana. Sleep coming out from Mal'Ganis. ETC incredibly low. A nice stun turret is dropped as ETC does go down. And now Jackpot feeding for their life. Basto jumping back in. Stun coming out but connecting onto nobody. Chen, the next to fall down, wasn't able to get a heal there in time. Is going to be 2 for nothing going over to the Gentlemen, and that Punisher as such is going to start heading and walloping on the Lazy King's forces. It should do the standard of grabbing it middle, taking a tower or two, and then heading up to the top lane, getting ready for that next objective. Killing that well means that your enemy will have a harder time getting the point come the next one, and that's exactly what we're going to see the Gentlemen doing right here, right now. just using it best they can, trying to grab these turrets here. And that's interesting. Usually in North America, we see folks break the small wall and go right for the well. They're just trying to grab it as quick as they can. Mal'Ganis and Hanzo in the protector. Angel Wing taking a little bit of damage, but the protector does hit 0%. Well, was taken out. Mission accomplished. Teams are just going to head back to lanes, pick up the soap, go back to what they were doing until the next objective spawns. You're out once again being harassed out here, but now level 10 online for both teams. Skirmish breaking out over the support camp. Li-Ming on the point so far, but ETC has that mosh pit, so fighting over can be tough. Out comes the Dragon Arrow. ETC slides in, gets the mosh pit, but Light Bomb is on top of it, immediately breaking it up. Pipe Bomb very low on the back. The support camp was picked up and dropped by the members of the Gentlemen. The fight is not over yet, though. Yrel jumping in. Capybara very low. Tassadar did opt for that. Archon goes in. Out comes the Leap of Faith trying to save Archon, but it does go down. Sleep onto Chen. Li-Ming trying to get out, and that is going to be a heal pulse going over to the Gentleman. But the 1-for-0, maybe more. Nope. 1-for-0 going over to the Lazy King. Overall, a fair trade. Equal. Maybe a little bit more in the favor of the Lazy King, seeing as the support camp was already used. So the advantage that would have been had has now been lost by the Gentlemen. Teams still fighting out here. Chen just doing what they please with this Yrel. Vasto having a wonderful time. But here comes Mal'Ganis. Turrets have been picked up. Siege Camp is now the name of the game. Tassadar clearing out the lanes. Everybody just trying to get to that level 13, which is a pretty big power spike for both Tassadar and Cassia there, allowing them to be safer, do some more damage, respectively, for both heroes. Mal'Ganis getting the stun, but once again, everybody is just trying to find a flaw in the positioning in the location of the other team. No one really willing to commit quite yet. Camp's the most important thing, just being cleared out as the Gentleman's camp is going to continue to push. Here in the middle lane, out comes that force wall. No fight quite yet. ETC did opt for that encore, so they will have the reduced cooldown on the mosh pit. We can already see only 6 seconds left on the mosh here before it will be back up, so it will be up for the next objective. Again, just clearing the camps, trying to find each other. Force wall coming out, trying to maybe make a fight happen. Everybody's ultimate is available. Now would be the time to skirmish if you want to try and get an early advantage on the team. And it looks like ETC is looking for just that. They come out onto Angel Wing, but unable to connect with any follow-up. Chen jumping in onto that Tassadar. Gets blocked by the force wall, but meanwhile in the back, Yrel jumping on the back line. Ball lightning does come out. Yrel able to skirt away as fast, though. They did opt for that Hand of Freedom, giving them that extra movement speed. Out comes the Dragon Arrow to secure the friends' safety. Encore stage, or face melt is dropped. ETC does have their ultimate up, though, so no value gotten from that in terms of CDR. Yrel coming in, a nice stun onto Cassie as she knocks him back. ETC is going to be the first to fall down, and now Yrel is on top of Jackpot, trying their best to bonk him down. That Toronto healing is insane, though, and Yrel ends up paying for their life with the greed. Mal'Ganis having to drop that carry-on Swarm. Chen also doing the same with that Storm, Earth, and Fire. Mal'Ganis sleeping his way out. Tassadar using that Leap of Faith to get out. Turret was dropped by the members of the Gentlemen. Light Bomb onto Tassadar, connects onto 4, 3 of them being the Chen Bears. But Archon is so low, he's trying to kill Chen. The stagger is good. He's got to retreat, use the brew to heal back up. Mal'Ganis does pay the price, though, and eventually Tassadar falls as well. Capybara, using that natural agility, gets over the wall. It is going to be 3 for 1 there, as ETC has already respawned. Going to be a difficult objective to contest. Rough times. We can see nobody is actually even opting for this objective right here. ETC looking to maybe contest this turret. Nobody's got an item right now, so why not? Support camp was picked up. Chen is going to stand on the point now. And top lane seems to be the priority for the the Lazy King, which makes sense. This is where they want to push. Bottom will be the next Punisher, so we'll see if bottom lane is addressed at all. It's just map control right now. One turret to a turret and a healing pulse for the gentleman versus the Lazy King. They're going to head up now. Maybe look to contest. 44% is collected from the Lazy King. ETC slides and misses. Level 15. Not quite 16, of course, so that means that the gentlemen are going to have to wait and bide their time before they decide to go in. But as soon as I say that, 16 is picked up. Looking at the talents, once again, we have that Templar's Verdict from the Righteous Hammer coming out. Tassadar trying to get a peek on everything that's going on. And interestingly enough, I hadn't even noticed that we've got that crowd surfer from ETC allowing him to slide through walls and make for some spicy gank action. We see the slide coming out yet again. Urel is being bullied here. Mal'Ganis coming in with a sleep, not able to connect onto anybody. Chen harassing the backline. Got a nice full stagger bar there. Gets their Purifying Brew interrupted, but a fantastic ultimate saves his life. Cassia is going to be the first to fall down, though. Nekonzo having to use a natural agility. Tacit are already burning that Archon and won't have it for this fight. The Bears running because they know that Chen only has 2 health. He's got 50, actually. A nice heal from Toronto keeps him alive, though, and that is going to be some percentage picked up here by the members of the gentlemen. And Tassadar with that siege camp looking to push top, make it even more difficult for the Lazy King to come back into this. There's a big thick minion wave there. Minions, as a reminder, do triple damage to forts and structures. So having this minions built up could be a really big problem for the Lazy King. Out comes the Force Wall trying to prevent anybody from getting through. Tyrande throwing out that Owl, making a mini Tassadar. Is just going to try and clear out these minions. ETC sliding in, not able to connect onto anybody. Here comes Mal'Ganis, gets a stun onto ETC. That Elun's chosen keeps him at about the same health. Everybody once again back to posturing. Posturing is the name of the game. Mal'Ganis in a little bit of trouble. He's surrounded by 5 members. Out comes Dragon Arrow, making sure ETC can't fall back onto the tank. Carrion Swarm is popped to get out. Hyperion coming out as well. Urel trying to get some damage onto the members of the Lazy King. Out comes the Light Bomb. Cassia in dire trouble does go down. Mal'Ganis in the back line with 3 health. Getting away, though. Chen does not have their ultimate. Has to back away. And Raynor and Tyrande are on some serious chase potential. Out comes the Protector going over to the gentleman once again. Picked up by Mal'Ganis. The fight isn't stopping just yet. Tassadar finally getting in, and this top fort is not long for this world. Couple punches from the Punisher, and that is 1 dead structure. They're continuing on, looking to grab middle, as is fairly standard. Chen being stunned out there. Vasto is going to have to back up, otherwise they might go down. They did tap, so using that Purifying Brew, going to keep themselves strong, but not able to continue fighting. Now the bottom fort is the play here for the gentleman. This is going to be where the next objective spawns, and just like that second one, they're going to try and grab the towers, grab the well, just make it so very difficult for the members of Lazy King to get back into this. Fort very close, does go down. A Dragon Arrow coming out, but it whiffs, parting like the Red Seas. Capybara now in danger. Vasto having to use that Storm, Earth, and Fire. Capybara running away, but the Bears are on top of him. He's trying to get out. Anduin gives him a baby heal with that Punisher. The Protector is going to be the death of him as those conveyor belts move slow. The movement speed. Jarrell having to use an Ardent Defender, and now it is Lazy King's time to shine. Mosh Pit comes out, but a fantastic leap of faith protects Mal'Ganis. He does not get eaten away by the members of Lazy King. Hyperion coming out, but not grabbing a whole lot. They will get this turret, though. That is the plus side of not having the Hanzo. Turret will go over to Lazy King. Teams are just back to clearing now as Hanzo is still down for another 14 seconds, and this means that most of the items will go over to Lazy King here, as we can see them grabbing this support camp. Ched in the top trying to deal with these minions, and now we can see the siege camp is the next priority. But with the siege camp being taken, this could allow the gentleman to grab the turret. However, ETC sniffs it out, and as such, they aren't going to let it happen. Urel just trying to keep vision here. eventually being chased away as the team grabs the siege camp, now grabs the turret, and this is going to be a difficult defense unless the gentleman can find a fight before the objective, as Lazy King has 3 items now. They have both the turrets and the heal pulse. So that's basically like having 2 extra damage dealers and an extra healer in the team fight, which of course can make it so hard to kill somebody, and it can make it very hard to engage. All ultimates are up save Ardent Defender, and 30 seconds would probably be ideal for the gentleman to fight. We have our 20s online. We're going to see that Glyph of Faith. The second charge we did see come out in that last fight there. The Twilight Archon, a humongous spike for Tassadar here, allowing them to just continuously have that Archon as long as they're dealing damage. Seeker Swarm, putting folks to sleep, always a solid ultimate to pick up. And then Hanzo opting for that bullseye, hoping to get some stuns off with that sonic arrow. Of course, Yrel opting for the Seraphim. Caught here in the middle is the ETC with that tour bus. Kills Mal'Ganis, tries to connect onto Anduin, but Hanzo able to get that out, get him away. Oh, another Leap of Faith coming out, but Archon not so lucky this time as Tassadar does fall. Out comes this root onto ETC, but not enough damage can be provided at this time. So the 2 for nothing with the objective spawning in 23 seconds. That's going to be a free 20 seconds of channel for Lazy King. Really solid. They saw that Mal'Ganis was overextended and they went in for the kill. Mosh Pit was used, but you can see it's already on 80 seconds as that Face Melt was used in the fight as well, hitting several members of the team. Now the bottom fort is going to be killed away. So this will put the teams on an even talent or an even tier here regarding forts as they fight over this bottom objective. They won't have that extra safety. They do end up losing only about 50% half. So if gentlemen want to contest, they could go in, poke a little bit, and then if it gets scary, run underneath their fort, where that luxury is not had by Lazy King. Yrel, wrong place, wrong tide, being chased out by Cassia and the Ball Lightning. Really solid trade out there, as the Ardent Defender had to be used. It's a 120-second cooldown, and there is no CDR for that. Cassia does have the Ball Lightning, did not opt for Infinite Ball, went for that Titan's Revenge. But I believe Ball is, only a 60-second cooldown. It will be back up here in 40 seconds while Yrel has to wait another 90 until they can use theirs again. Chen looking for the backline, sees Angel Wing. Pigs are coming out saying, hey, be careful. Also chunked out because Tassadar does insane damage. And despite the scrap in the middle lane, this is going to be the first half of the objective going over to the gentleman as items are being collected by Lazy King here. Teams are coming. This is the hardest objective to defend based on the way the conveyor belts are positioned. Everyone is going to have to play this flawlessly to get out without any casualties. Angel Wing in the back has to pop the Archon and get away. Had to use that extra shield, but Chen having to use that Storm Earth and Fire jumps in. Out comes the Leap of Faith. Angel Wing just being absolutely bullied. Out comes that Dragon's Arrow. Yrel is going to be the first to fall. Tassadar finally completing their quest. Mal'Ganis interrupted. Their ultimate does go down. One of the Chen Bears does pop. Vasta running in on that Archon does fall. Flew a little too close to the sun, but Tassadar going down, and this is the scaling of the Lazy King. 3 for 1, just the Chen. Hanzo having to escape, Anduin having to escape, and now the keep is under some serious pressure as ETC goes back to collect the protector. He says, I'll bring the car, guys. It's okay. You guys go have fun. Go push. That's exactly what the teams are going to do. It looks like Jackpot is going to head back, maybe looking to clean off some of those lanes as there is some pretty thick buildup here in the middle and the top lane. It's exactly what we're going to see here. Without having those forts, that means every couple of waves we are going to have a catapult, and we all know how devastating they can be. But actually, not even giving a crap about the catapult. They want this heal pulse. It looks like, depending on how the protector goes, which, by the way, ETC has hopped off of in case you weren't aware, they're going to pick up this support camp, looking to clear out this top lane. They maybe grab the siege. This has allowed the gentleman, though, to hop back on. They had 55%. They're going to soak it a little bit more. We should see one more team fight, and I think whoever wins this team fight will end up taking the game. Lots of items and pressure available for the Lazy King. ETC coming in now, trying to scout who's on it. He does find that Urel. Teams both just trying to find the right angle. They want to control this point so very badly, knowing at 21 minutes this is looking close to the end for them. Overtime has been started, so the teams are going to have to fight on the point. Our Angel Wing popping that Archon. Vaso doing what they do best and hopping in. Mal'Ganis already having to use their ultimate there. And this is looking really defensible for Lazy King. ETC coming out. The Light Bomb comes out. The Dragon Arrow comes out. The double interrupt. You love to see it if you are Lazy King, and they do end up grabbing this Punisher. Nobody has died. I spoke too soon. Tassadar does go down. Slide coming out. Fend coming out. Mal'Ganis using that blind as a bat to try and make sure that they can get away. Ball Lightning coming out onto Urel. They use the Seraphim perfectly and pop the ultimate, getting away without dying. Masterful play there by Urel. But it may be all for naught. Teams have to try and defend this core. The Punisher is so very healthy, 90% available. Only Raynor inside it right now, so it doesn't have that extra 10 armor. Here comes ETC, not looking to get in. Just kidding, spoke too soon. Hanzo does go down. Lucky Mong not even able to get their turret off. Is picked up by Pipe Bomb and immediately dropped. Out comes the Chen Panda Pals. Of course, shield does fall. Anduin blown into Oblivion, knocked back, drops the Light Bomb, is going to go down. That's 70% on the core. Out comes the ETC Mosh onto the Urel, slides into the base. The disrespect, as it will look like such a great game for Gentlemen, ends up being a victory in favor of Lazy King. GG, very well done by both teams. Really have to give it to Lazy King, waiting there for the end to just go ahead and get to the scaling and then decide, you know what, it's time to go in. Our team fight is significantly better at this point. Chen just diving onto the Tassadar. Nothing he could do. Always having to pop that Archon defensively to make sure they got the shield. Really, really nicely done. We'll take a look here at the damage. Again, Capybara doing a little bit more damage over there with the 27 or 127k compared to the Cassia 110, but just a little bit better for Cassia in the end. The team played a little bit more solidly. We have a little bit more of a discrepancy in the kills here at 23 minutes into the game. 9-15. Those end fights were just a little bit too much for the Gentlemen. Being caught out so many times really put them behind. They weren't able to continue with that pressure onto the keeps and battles. Take a look at the talent here, as there were some very different builds than what we're normally used to seeing in North America. So let's take a look at those. Once again, blind as a bat coming out at 16. We saw Mal'Ganis use that to escape. Other than that, fairly simple except for that Might of the Sargeras. And then, of course, the Black Claws. Urel, different from the first Urel game, opting for the Hand of Freedom. Everything else looking fairly standard. Cassia choosing that Titan's Revenge, the basic attacks that ignore armor. ETC going for that tour bus, the spicy plays there from the ETC. And then, of course, the Raynor Execute, fairly standard. At 50% health, you can just do so much damage. You just melt people, buildings, objectives. It like the Execute is not specific. Like everything under the sun, if it's below 50% health, including the core, by the way, in case you didn't know, it does go down. So I'm going to actually bring it back to the talents for a moment so we can take a look at the Chen here, that elusive brawler protecting them from the Hanzo. And then, of course, that elemental conduit. I have been invited to a game, so I am going to bring it back to me while we update the score. Yes, it is a best of 5, so we have at minimum one more game on our hands. I'm going to update our scores and update our maps. We can take a look at those in a moment. Can the Gentlemen bring it back, or is the Lazy King going to pull out the 3-0 domination? Personally, I'm hoping for more games, because we had a 3-0 for the first set of games, and I'd really like to see it go to a game 5. There have been a couple of times where, you know, we get a game 4. We've never had a 5-game series on the Chili Mountain channel. Once again, guys, if you are enjoying Chili Mountain, please consider, you know, dropping a sub, dropping a follow. They do stuff like this every single Friday. They recently had a big old tournament. They had a $300 prize pool that was for North America, but Team Alexander did end up playing in it, and They got pretty close. I can't remember if they won or not. I was unavailable the day of the finals. But they did a very, very solid job. We've had to get more creative with our supports. We saw the Malf. We saw the Anduin. The Garrosh is going to be taken away this time. They don't want the gentleman to have that Garrosh again. It was too strong, they say. Stukov, of course, get him out of here. Despite having the first pick, they ban away the Stukov. Maybe none of the gentlemen are really comfortable on the Stukov, but they're just going to go ahead and say, you know what, never mind. All right, looks like we are having some frame drops here. I apologize, everybody. Are we back? It's fine on my end. I think we're back up. It looks like we're live. Let me double check. Yeah, okay. Cool. Sorry about that, guys. So, what you missed is Deckard Cain was finally let through. Just a little bit of struggling on the Korean server. But you didn't miss too much. Stukov was banned away. Cassia was banned. Garrosh and Ana also taken. And as such, Deckard Cain was going to be the first pick. And looks like I have these swapped around. Hanzo and ETC going to be picked up for the members of the gentlemen now. All right, cool. Thanks, everybody. Sorry once again. We're on Korea. I'm just seeing your chats. I know you're going to hear this all in about 30 seconds. But sometimes that can be a little bit tricky considering I am in the United States. May and Rain are coming out. It looks like the teams have actually swapped sides on me. So I'm going to swap that really quickly, just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. So, since the team swapped, they made the lobby. It's just how it happens sometimes. I've swapped it. All you guys need to know is that red is now the gentleman and blue is now Lazy King. As Uther is going to be picked up. Uther Abathur coming out for Lazy King. So please disregard my earlier sentiment. I didn't realize that they had swapped. Really, really nicely done. Deckard being picked up by the members of the gentlemen now. So super spicy. Excited to see what they can do because Deckard is one of the strongest supports in the game right now, and if not the strongest, maybe second only to Ana. But that being said, Abathur is absolutely insane on this map. But how do you counter an Abathur? Globals push in that map as Tahaka and Falstad come out. And last but not least, Illidan being picked up for Vaso. We have an Illidan, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary folks. Super, super excited. Any swaps coming out? Does not look like it. So as we load in the game, once again, you guys are going to see me. Hello, team. I had to pause like this because the thing didn't finish in time. So hi, guys. Looking at this, gosh, I don't know. Both teams are really strong. I'm not a huge fan of Uther solo support. The armor can be really strong, but there isn't an insane amount of burst from the members of the gentlemen here. So I think I'm going to go gentlemen again. It probably means that I've jinxed them, that they're going to maybe, you know, go down because so far every team that I've picked has been wrong, except for the first one. So, you know, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, or 1 out of 3. Just waiting for them to go ahead and get all started up. Once again, I hope you guys are having a lovely evening. If you like what you see, Chili Mountain is sponsored by Vivify, and they can be sponsored by you too if you would like to commit to giving them a little bit of extra love. It doesn't even have to be monetary. Throw them a follow if you're not following. That being said, game is live, so we're going to hop in as this time on the left, we have Lazy King with Pipe Bomb on that Abathur. We've got our Uther in the game. Jackpot will be our Hanzo. Vosto is your Illidan. ETC also here. Again, sorry guys, not a Korean. Over on the right-hand side, we do have the Gentleman with Lucky Mong on the Falstad this time, or are they the May? They're covered up. Looks like Capybara is on the Falstad. Lucky Mong on the May. Angel Wing will be your Rainer. Hopping over to the middle. Talents coming online. May opting for that heat transfer. I always like to see what they choose to pick just based on the fact that there are so many different really strong builds for May currently. So always exciting to see what she has. Hanzo, once again, going for that simple geometry will allow them to kill bosses really quickly throughout the game. ETC, of course, with the Prog Rock. Uther opting for those autos at level 1. Do we see the battle Uther? I sure hope so. Falset hopping down. And I'm just going to go ahead and say Pipe Bomb is going to be our cool and attractive friend here, as we won't get to see a whole lot of Abathur on screen. Neither will we see much of Vosto or Tahaka here, because once again, off lane, they sacrifice screen time so we can have XP. In the middle, it's a little bit of a skirmish. Out comes that Judgment, stunning out the May. Nothing comes of it. The teams are just looking to soak right now. Soak above all L once we get to that Grandmaster Games. Camps are being cleared here by Angel Wing and Deckard. Uther and Jackpot grabbing this siege camp up here. Uther doing most of the work, seeing as they do have to stack that quest. They're already at 22 stacks. They need to hit 80, I believe. 75. Close. ETC just soaking. Falstad soaking against the Abathur. Everyone big soak right now. Uther and Hanzo doing this camp. May coming in to see what's going on. Here comes Deckard. We can see them backing off Philo. They said, you know what? It's not worth it. Have it. We don't even want it. But Uther is hanging around, making sure that it isn't picked up too terribly quickly. Rainer doing this camp by himself, and I honestly didn't know that Rainer could do the Bruiser camp, but he's very low. Today I learned as Angel Wing clears that out. Down here in the bottom, Jackpot has turned up to help Abathur out, make sure they're not getting too pushed in. Uther here as well, just trying to stack. About halfway done with the quest now. ETC just soaking away as there's a 3-man push going on here in the middle lane. Out comes a Scroll of Sealing, and a really dominant game so far by the Gentleman once again. Hopefully they'll be able to hold on to it this time. So Uther comes out trying to help. There isn't a whole lot of wave clear from Lazy King, so they'll have to be careful not to stay too long in a lane or let one lane build up too much. Otherwise, we could see a repeat of game number 1 where the team just has to clear as 5 and they don't really get a chance to roam around. Tribute is spawning in 5 seconds here. The Gentleman already in position to try and grab it up. ETC is here being poked by Lucky Monk and Angel Wing. Deckard trying to grab it, but here he comes. He's going to back off away from his friends. Doesn't have that 10 armor. There we go. Tahaka burrowing in. May standing on top of that Blizzard. Here comes Capybara with the fly. Vosto very low already. Uther losing about 25% of their health. Jackpot just trying to get away because they are quite squishy. And that is maybe Deckard not getting him. Gets interrupted by the face melt. Level 4 is online. And once again, we do have the crowd server, not the extra knockback. So ETC will have to get in quite close to keep these interrupts. And we get the drag, not able to get the interrupt. Deckard does collect the tribute. Vosto jumping in, has to use that ally dash to get out, as we do have that battered assault coming in. And then the friend or foe, which like I said, allows him to jump to his allies. Level 7 on line 4, Lazy King. And here we see the Mule. Pretty standard coming out for Abathur. Another invade potentially from the Gentleman. But it's just May and Deckard maybe trying to spook him a little bit. Raynor is coming. Rubies are in there. So Lucky Mon can go in whenever they want. Capybara has flown in. And now this is a 4v3. Camp half finished by Lazy King is going to go over. Uther stuck in the middle of the scroll of ceiling does go down, but that's all right. Uther is the only healer whose healing goes up as they die. So now the fight is live. Hanzo getting insane value with these scatter arrows here, but not enough. Vaso having to dive away. They're stuck. They use that sweep to make sure they get out. Damage already done by that camp. Cleared out fairly quickly, and a rough start for Lazy King there. They had lost that camp, and now they have to go try and contest this. Abathur died. Goodness, what happened? Sorry, everyone. T-Tours. Abathur died somewhere. Deckard is going to get this no contestation. Illidan trying to get Lucky Mong, who's got no health and no mana, but they are able to get away. Falstad down here on the bottom, just soaking, and this is really solid by the members of the Gentlemen. Boss being started over here by their Lazy King. They've got the Hanzo. They have level 7. This is something he excels at, especially with the scatter arrow build. This one right here, reduce scatter arrows mana cost, deals 100% more damage to minions, mercenaries, and monsters. So that boss just melts. All the while, we do have boss being started as well over here by the members of the Gentlemen. And for Raynor, we've got the Exterminator, which does kind of the same thing. Basic attack still 50% more damage to minions, mercs, and monsters. This increases to 125 while Inspire is active, so big damage coming out. It was nerfed a couple of patches ago, but still overall relatively strong. Not quite the same as 100 damage, but with that Inspire, you know, he gets a little bit of a spice, so it ends up working out there. Falstad is hit by ETC underneath his own gate, despite the gate being out. That is the power of the Crowd Surfer. Boss isn't going to get a whole heck of a lot, does manage to grab the well. This is a more beneficial fight and boss for the members of the Lazy King, as they do finally pick up their level 10, but also they have this boss pushing down here, so they are able to kind of push with it a little bit and then come to rotate. Dahaka also pushing with his own. Out comes the Dragon Arrow. Stay a while and listen is dropped, but it's dropped the wrong way. Stage dive coming out from ETC, and now Deckard is in some big trouble. Snow Globe coming out onto DC. ETC pushing him back. Uther very, very low. Hanzo finishing their quest, but everybody's health bar is so low. Falstad is going to be the first to fall. Uther quick behind him. Out comes the isolation, but does not connect, and now the teams are just struggling to stay alive, but there isn't going to be much healing on the side of the Lazy King for much longer. Deckard Cain does go down. No healing for anyone. The fort was lost, and as such, Angel Wing goes down. Can Dahaka get away? There is an Illidan on them. If they maybe get the stun, they can get them. Tribute hasn't even been collected yet. Running, the stun comes out. Falstad comes out. He doesn't have the gust. It was used in that last fight. But Vaso, they're on him, but they don't commit, and Dahaka, as such, gets away. Tribute now finally being picked up here by Hanzo. Illidan just going to soak. Big damage done to both teams. Forts did go down. Abathur, however, has the mule. As we can see here up in the top lane, is just going to heal up that keep. Dahaka trying to soak down once again. Also, our offlaners. If you guys have a special offlaner in your life, tell them how cool and attractive they are, because it does mean a lot that they sit and do the boring work so we can have the fun killing each other in the middle lane, just running it down while they get the soaks. Tribute is coming up. This is curse point for the Gentlemen, so we'll hope to see another interrupt and another fight as fantastic as was done early on by the members of Lazy King. However, as soon as I say that, Uther is snow globed into the enemy base and does go down. Dragon Arrow was used there to try and interrupt. So 2 big cooldowns coming out. Stage Dive was also used by ETC. We will have that Abathur. Evolved Monstrosity is actually what was chosen. They didn't go for that clone. As we can see down here, the Monstrosity is trying to get value soaking elsewhere. But the curse does fall on the side of Lazy King, who now have to defend against the members of the Gentlemen who grabbed this camp. And now Illidan is surrounded by 4, but of course it's hard to stop an Illidan. He does get away, albeit very slowly and very cautiously. Deckard is stunned out. They're trying their best to go in. Illidan comes back in, but here comes Falset. Stay a while and listen. Connects onto nobody as the Divine Shield comes out. And Vasto is on the back. He's in the middle of 4. He's juking and jiving, dipping and diving, trying to get in as best as he can. Out comes the stage side to try and slow the members. But ETC is grabbed and goes down to the Dahaka. Vasto once again on the back. Meanwhile, Tribute still getting serious value here as the camp is pushing in. ETC goes down. Out comes that Dragon Arrow once again, but nothing comes of it. May having to drop the Cryo Freeze, doing the best as she can. Vasto, he's finally caught by Dahaka. He's surrounded again, but it's a Korean Illidan. Nothing can be done. Uther, on the other hand, does fall as he is not Illidan. And also an insane person. Finally has to be snowballed away with that avalanche as he's just going to 1v5 them all. He's like, screw you guys. Kill my whole team. I'll kill your whole team. Is pushed away, though, by May. Lucky Mong said, not today, Illidan. As such, it does bring our fight to a close. Everyone is just looking to try and soak out the lanes. This is the first time that we've seen the Gentlemen really up and soak significantly over their counterparts on Lazy King. Bosses are being called here. The top boss isn't going to be up for another 13 seconds, so there is a little bit of a head start advantage here from Lazy King. They have the Hanzo as well, and we can see here he's just melting that boss. Out of their hat, doing it what it can. Does the Gentleman sniff this out? They're coming. The boss is nearly dead. Can Lucky Mon get on it? They're not even going to try. They just grab the boss. Icing comes out. Gust has to be used. Dragon Arrow connects onto May, but she's too far away. Maybe. Out comes the stage dive. Cryo Freeze is used. Penetrating round comes out. Stun does not connect onto May. 2 members slept in that stay a while and listen. Illidan is on the squishy backline, and Deckard is trying so hard to get away. May doing their best to peel. Out comes the Metamorphosis Divine Shield. Dahaka, 600 health. 300 after that wave of light. Holy moly. But once again, nobody does go down here. ETC already 15 seconds on that ultimate, and it's absolutely insane. Meanwhile, that fight was taken so well, being 4v5 because the monstrosity is trying to kill the top. But Abathur not watching it, does go down to the fort. Capybara able to fly up and peel it off fairly quickly. We'll see what the members do here for the Gentlemen as they do grab this tribute, start the boss, and the boss down bottom, by the way, that was going the whole time that the teams were fighting, does finally break down, but not before getting half a keep for the side of the Gentleman. The Gentleman coming down, they did interrupt that boss. Out comes the arrow, out comes the gust to push ETC back as he comes in with that stage dive. The boss is half health. Out comes the avalanche. ETC is pushed to the far side of the wall. Boss completely reset itself. Vasto looking for that Deckard, not able to connect onto it. Out comes the drag into the scroll of sealing. Illidan with silence as slept. Does have that contagion on them. Dahaka trying to grab with an extra long tongue. They did opt for that elongated tongue, increasing the drag range by 20%. Again, nobody goes down. Nobody grabs the boss. Are the Gentlemen thinking about finishing it up? They're throwing some more potions, but there are 2 members and 2 monsters up here in the top from Lazy King. So that is going to be really difficult if they choose to do so, unless they pick off this ETC right now, who tries to get off the stage dive. Was still on cooldown, unfortunately, so ETC pays with his life, and that's a huge stacker right as the tribute spawns. He will be able to just jump in once he's up. With 40 seconds, we can see the members of Lazy King aren't even trying to contest here. They're just like, you know what? Have it. We don't even want it. We're going to grab this siege camp. Maybe even look to grab that boss if they're feeling super spicy, as 3 members have come to the tribute. Raynor starting on and finishing that bruiser camp. Monstrosity being pushed very far back by the Dahaka. The Zerg world out here. And now the fight is still on from the members of Lazy King. They don't want the gentleman to grab this boss, and as such, they're just going to try and poke at it until ETC comes back up. He is alive now, so he can jump in whenever he feels like it. Boss was reset. The gentleman, once again, must be so frustrated, not able to just finish the darn boss. ETC not having to use ultimate. Tribute does spawn. This will be curse point for the gentleman if they are able to connect it. We can see here that they are going to grab their siege camp beforehand, just let that kind of push out the monstrosity a little bit, and then now the tribute is spawning. Gentlemen are in position. Hanzo having to use that natural agility very early. Gets the interrupt onto Capybara, who just channels it once again. Uther coming out with that wave, trying their best. Gets the stun off, gets the slide off, or the stage dive off. Out comes the gust, but it doesn't connect onto anybody. Neither does Snowball, and that's all the defensive save stay a while, which is just used, burned by the gentleman. They're in some serious trouble as Vasto is just eating alive Raynor. He does go down. He's jumping on next to Falsehead. Capybara has to use that barrel roll. Out comes the invulnerable from Uther, and that is Capybara exploding. Deckard Kane is going to be the next to fall, and this is the fight that the Lazy King desperately needed. They're going to jump onto Dahaka, who will not get away, and May running for her life. Fasto is ready, though. They want the blood. Lucky Mong not able to get the stun, trying to not get body blocked by Illidan, but he's following beyond the towers. Is he a fool? Is he a madman? Out comes the cryo freeze. He's taking a lot of damage from that fort. He has to jump out. ETC, you're not supposed to be here. But it looks like the Lazy King are looking to potentially end with only May alive. She doesn't even have her ult. 28 seconds. She's trying to keep it up, and we could be looking at the game right here, right now. Raynor is alive, and that's enough. Raynor, with that Banshee, is able to deter the members of the Lazy King, who are just going to try and grab this curse. With this curse, they could definitely end the game, and it's going to be a really difficult defense, as the members are just spawning. They won't have a time to get in position for this tribute. Not everybody, at least. Dahaka is either going to have to burrow in or walk. He doesn't have a mount. So do they want to risk that burrow? Dahaka did opt for the Essence Claw as opposed to the Apex Predator, so they won't have that extra burrow. They do choose to come in, though, and ETC is using that crowd surfer, slides over Capybara, having to burn that barrel roll super early. Illidan is just harassing Raynor. Angel Wings trying to stay alive, and there is that level 20 Divine Shield. Raynor popped like a balloon. Lucky Mong getting away. The wind tunnel saving them from getting too much damage, but Deckard all alone in the back is going to be the next to fall. The members of the gentleman are running for their lives. Monstrosity in the top, just soaking away. Curse is picked up by the Lazy King. They're opting to go for the boss and hoping to maybe end. This is going to be a difficult defense. As you get Illidan on the core, that's that. You have to kill the Illidan last, and he jukes and jives there. We can see he's going in. Everybody using their mobility tools to try and catch it, but it's Illidan with an Abathur hat. Nice blind. There's the tongue. That's a dead Illidan. The biggest sieger on the member of the Lazy King does fall. But meanwhile, Monstrosity is top. Boss is top. Fort falls. Keep walls getting incredibly low. This is going to be such a rough defense for the gentleman, who, once again, look where they had it in the early game, and now as the late game progresses, they seem to be struggling a little bit. They have nothing to deal with the Illidan outside of Gust, and if he avoids the Gust, and that's really it. The Avalanche also helps a little bit, but he can just kind of meta right back in there, especially with that Divine Shield. Boss wheeling away at this top keep in the bottom boss being taken by the Lazy King, by the two there. They're able to get it. That's going to be pushing bottom, and it doesn't look like the gentlemen are going to be leaving their base anytime soon. Big camps available all over the map. Should likely all go over to the Lazy King unless they're just looking to end right here. They keep surprisingly not taking that much damage despite the boss pushing with the curse. However, opting to get the boss during the curse means that the team only had about half of it to push. They're looking to push and end bottom now, but all 5 members of the gentlemen are available and ready to defend. This is going to be their last stand here. If they can get a wipe, they can potentially go top or mid and end the game. Boss, very, very thick. ETC coming in, a perfect Dragon Arrow. Out comes the slide, but stay a while and listen. And Gust, a little bit of a miscommunication there as ETC is pushed out of the Gust. Isolation also hits, and that's all defensive burn. Illidan is jumping back on the core. It's only got 82%. May drops the Avalanche. It's every single ultimate burned from the side of the gentleman, and they can't stop the Lazy King. 60% on the core. Meta is popped. Deckard goes down. Falstead goes down. ETC is on the core. Everybody is on the core. 40%. Dahaka is trying to get in there, trying to survive. They go down, or Uther is the first to go down. They don't have that redemption. That is going to be game number 3 and the finale going over to the Lazy King. GG. Well done by both teams. Wait to see our stats so we can take a look. Another very close game, 11-9 in favor of the Lazy King. Very, very well done. Taking a look at these numbers here. This is the first time the team with the most damage has won, with Jackpot doing that 99k compared to Angel Wing, who was so punished the entire time, only able to do that 58. We look here at Illidan with the 72, just absolutely unstoppable forces from the members of the Lazy King. Very, very nicely done. Healing numbers also show a little bit of a discrepancy, but this time Deckard obviously healing out of their mind, healing almost double Uther with that armor. You don't get to see that armor come into play, and the Divine Shield, same thing, and that's where a lot of it came from. A lot of really solid engages by the Illidan. Illidan, Uther, Abathur working in tandem, then ETC and Hanzo. It was just an unstoppable comp that ripped apart the gentleman. Here are the talents. If you guys like to take a look at them once again. This just must be the Korean meta here with the Crowd Surfer. We saw it picked both the ETC games, and then the Imposing Presence to shut down the Rainer, and then, of course, Crowd Pleaser getting a 50% bigger, extra 30% slow for ETC there. Uther, pretty standard support build. Opting for that Hammer of the Lightbringer, and then, of course, the Holy Shock. And then fairly standard across the board. May, interesting for the spell power. It wasn't a whole heck of a lot of a spell power, but it reduces the cooldown of the cryo freeze by 10 seconds, so it definitely makes sense. The skating away, trying to keep her friends nice and healthy when the Illidan was diving on them, but of course, just ended up all being for naught. Really, really well done. So that is going to be the big 3-0 going over to the Lazy King. And as such, that is going to end our games this evening. As far as I'm aware, there's nobody after me. So thank you guys all so very much for hanging out and spending time with me. I'm JinxeeKatt. I was your caster tonight. If you like what you see, please, 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 guys, support Chili Mountain. We always need another Heroes Amateur League in our midst. Blizzard isn't taking care of us, so we have to take care of ourselves. Drop them they have merch, so if you want to get something, you know, for your money, get some merch, drop them some bits. Biggest thing you can do right now is give them a follow. They're so close to affiliate. They just need to grab those 7 days, and then they'll be able to start earning subs and giving us emotes like the rest of us. So please, guys, check them out. Give them a follow. Know when they go live. Every Friday night, they do these fight nights with Grandmaster and Master teams. So we'll always get to see the top tier of heroes play. They do their own tournament. So I don't know if any of you saw the tournament they did last time, but it was really fun. Had a really great time. Myself and Tetracast did it, as well as Bahamut on the second day. Super amazing. Awesome work. And if you like what you saw tonight, my name is JinxeeKatt. I'm your caster. Thanks so much for having me on tonight, guys. You can follow me at twitch.tv/JinxeeKatt, or you can go to my Twitter. I am trying to pursue streaming full time now, so it would mean the world to me that if you would stop by. I play Heroes of the Storm. I do tons of casting. for other amateur leagues as well as this one. We play lots of WoW every so often. We do something super fun. On Saturdays, we have Salty Saturday, so we play some Fall Guys. We are going to start playing some Among Us. So if you want to watch me and my friends get mad at each other, or if you want to join us, because Salty Saturday, all viewers are welcome. We can all laugh and have a great time. Please check me out. Once again, that's twitch.tv/JinxeeKatt. Thank you guys so much. And thank you to Vivify for supporting Chili Mountain. That's all I have for you. You guys are amazing. I love you. Have a great night, and we'll see you later. Bye.